Hello there, and Lois, yes, you was first on YouTube. A bit early today, but I'm sat here twiddling my thumbs, so I thought, well, I'll just press the button. And here we go. So, hello, Angela and Lynn, Tina, Margaret, hello. Very good, thank you, Margaret. How are you? Hello, Lisa. Oh, here we go. Stephanie, Sue, and Jane, and Shirley, and Janet, and Robin. Hello, Eve, Kelly from Wisconsin. Hello to you. It's nice and sunny in Florida, says Rebecca. Trish says thanks for a pink parcel. Thank you. Hello, Trish, Sheila. I'll just go back again. And Elaine, wet and windy in Frome. Hello, Elaine's going to catch up later on. She's at work. Hello, Denise. Hello, Claire. And another Claire and Jill. Hello, Leslie, Jackie, Amanda, and Jenny and Kay. Hello, and Glenn. Oh, aren't we busy again? Hello, Anne. How are you? Dark and miserable in Surrey. Hello, Ruth. Deborah from Massachusetts. Hello to you. Now then. Well, oh, and Ruth's in Alaska. Let me see. I was supposed to kind of prepare this a little bit, and I didn't. So bear with me 1 second, because I should so have done this while I was waiting. Rita in New York has been putting together a pie chart of where in the world we are, and it's really interesting. And I forgot to email it to myself, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you it, but most of you are in the UK, and nothing wrong with that, but we are all over the place. No, I can't do it. I shall put a post on Facebook when I've downloaded the pie chart. But we are, oh gosh, we're in the UK and in Ireland and in Canada and in Australia and in India. We're everywhere. So if you would like to say hello and where in the world you are, what country you're in. I don't need to know what town, because I haven't got enough space. But what country you're in, then come and let us know. What country are you in the world, and we'll get you on the pie chart. And at the moment, it's looking like UK this much, and the rest of the world that much. So let's see how much we can fan that out when you start. Oh, hi Rita, there she is. Didn't have work today because Thanksgiving holidays, so she gets water. Oh, hello Debbie, welcome along. Hello in Cheshire, says Lynn. Let's see, Maya is in Greece. Robin Arnold is in Canada. Rita, I'm glad you're there. You're taking note. You're going to have a busy hour updating your pie chart. Sarah's in the US of A. Mary's in Scotland. Hello Maria. Anita, UK. Lisa's not with us today. Her dad isn't very well, but I'll leave that for her to tell you about next time. But yeah, thoughts with Lisa and her brother at the moment. So she might be back again on Wednesday. Not sure. It's not good times at the moment. Oh, Lisa's there, but she's still at the hospital. Oh, Lisa, thank you. No, that's quite understandable. There's more important things than a YouTube live when things that you're going through is going on at the moment. So if you want to keep us informed, that would be very nice. But otherwise, we'll see you again next week. Just let me know. Yeah, Mary's asking how Ruby is. Hello, Evelyn in Northern Ireland. There is a brown bear, Jan. There is a brown bear behind me here. The polar bear is as voted for by you as the Half Yard Sewing Club's next main project on December the 1st, which is next Thursday. Week on Thursday? Not far away. And the video that I made for it, I made in the beige fleece. So it looks like a teddy bear. But of course you can make in any colour that you like. It doesn't have to be a him. Hello Lena in Illinois in the US of A. Oh, thank you Tammy. Hi Amanda. Amanda, if you put on here where you are, we're making a pie chart. Well, Rita's making a pie chart. It's nothing to do with me, which is very good. Hello Leslie in Preston. Sorry, you've disappeared. Eva's in Denmark. Rita, Eva's in Denmark. Helen's in Scotland. Oh, Linda's on a course this week and passed her first module today. Well done, Linda. Congratulations. Julie Jones, of course you're in France. We know Julie Jones. Minnesota is Angela. Oh, you know, your messages are literally scrolling like this. So thank you, everybody. Keep them coming, and we'll go through them later on. Hosanna is in Lebanon. Oh gosh, we are. Oh, Lois is in Buxton. Hi to Rita, says Elaine on Facebook. She does go through Facebook afterwards as well. We're keeping you busy, Rita. So glad you're there. Hi, Anne. How's things? How's the husband? Getting better, hopefully. And another Anne in Basildon in West Yorkshire. So, okay, I've got some new fabrics to show you. This is going to be the sew along on Saturday for the Half Yard Club. So you don't have to be a member of the Half Yard Club. We do a sew along anyway on the last Saturday of the month, generally on Facebook and on YouTube. So I have put all of the instructions on the. They might be on Facebook as at the moment. I don't know. I will do that. I'll put all the measurements that you need on Facebook. If you're a Half Yard Club member, this would have gone out to you in the newsletter, and if you don't get the newsletters, it will be on the website of everything that you need to make it. It's not my design, it's one of those little things that's been around for an awful long time, but I just thought it was nice and Christmassy and well in time for Christmas decorations. So that's going to be on Saturday at 11 o'clock. So if you want to sew along with me, it's all circles and squares, it's not difficult at all. But I just think it is rather cute, isn't it? Yeah, a bit looks like an Indian chief at the moment with a headband on. But you could add bits of lace and gems and buttons and whatever you like. But that's what we're doing on Saturday. Janet's recovering from a hip replacement operation. Ooh, hope you're okay. Wetting Wellingborough, damp in Hertfordshire. We seem to be in a wet country at the moment. It's nice here. Actually walked the dog. Very muddy. Oh, thank you, Rita. Hi, Irene. St Neots today with my two new baby granddaughters watching my favourite dog. Oh, go on. Thank you, Helene. Hello, Amanda. It is Lois Prismal. Oh, talking to somebody else, I think. Anyway, I'm from Swad. Used to live in Bretby Park. Miss the area. Oh, Mellons. That's what I used to live in that area. Hi, Sue. Right, we're going to do a little bit of free motion embroidery. I went back through one of the posts I put on Facebook a few weeks ago, just saying, what do you want to see? What techniques would you like to see on a Wednesday? And there was quite a lot saying free motion embroidery. And I know we have covered it before, so I just thought we'd do a very simple version of how to get started on free motion embroidery. And I've also got some new bits and bobs to show you as well, so I shall do those first of all. So I don't know what to show you first. Let me show you this one first. Christmas presents for people who sew. We had an exploding box, was it last week? Can't remember. Sold out. Got another one for you here. So this is this beautiful. It's all kind of hand embroidered. I suppose it's not, but it looks hand embroidered. It looks really, really beautiful. Very, very detailed. But the special thing is when you open this up, look at what you got. So you've got little pockets in these. All of the bits and bobs are included. So you'll have a little pair of scissors, you'll have some needles, a tape measure, a quick unpick, a needle thread, some thread, and a couple of pins even in the pin cushion in the centre. I'm not sure price wise, but if you go onto the website, onto debbieshawsewing.com and look under the new arrivals, you're going to find this here. A word. Oh, we've got Nancy. Hello, Nance. Missed your message, but you're there. A quick word. I don't think these are going to last too long, so if you want one, I would order it. However, we are having a sale on Friday, which is going to last the weekend, and it will be 10% off everything. So I will generate a code, and I'll post on Facebook and YouTube what the code is, and best to look on Facebook because sometimes the YouTube messages don't go through, but there will be a code for 10% discount, and if you're a Half Yard Club member you can use 2 discounts, so you get your 10% on top of that 10%, which means that you get 20% discount on everything that we have available over the weekend. This, however, I don't think will be there over the weekend. I don't think that'll be there over the weekend. So if you want something really specific, then buy it. But if it's something that we have a lot of stock of, you won't know that. Something that we do regularly, any of the tools, then do wait until Friday morning. It's going to go live at 8 o'clock on Friday morning. So the discount code will be published just before that. Yeah, that's the only way I can do it. So I'll publish the discount code, put it all live, and then you'll get your 10% discount, which means you get 20% for a club member. Oh, not on Facebook, Tilly. Okay. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, then I will send out a message. The things with YouTube, they don't always all go through, but I will do that. Yep, that's the only way I can do it. I don't know if can you look on Facebook without being a member? I don't know. I don't know about that. But anyway, so that is this one. Oh, right, okay, we do have some new fabrics going on as we speak, but our computer's just gone down, our main computer's just gone down, so it may take a little while to get them on, but this one is on there already. Maxine, when you go to the website, let me see if I can get this up and actually show you, because there should be an option to put 2 codes in. Sorry, I haven't actually prepped this. Oh, there we go, to show you. So let me see if I can do that. Okay, so things are going rather slow here at Short Hours today. Do bear with me. When I can get this website up, I shall show you where you go. Because you can put 2 codes in. Where you normally go to put your discount code in, where it said coupon code, it's not coming up, I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. Right, so just take a look at this. So when you go to, let's put something in our basket. So let's go to new arrivals. These pictures will be coming up shortly. We do have some brand new canvases for you. And add to cart. View cart. And coupon code. So you'll put your coupon code in there, and I think this is not a coupon code, by the way. It's not going to let me do that. It does not exist. When you put 1 coupon code in there, it should come up with the box again so that you can put a second coupon code in there. So when you put the first one in, it'll generate another box where you can put a second coupon code in there. So that's where you go anyway. When you go to checkout, it's on coupon code. Oh, Rita, I know. I'll show you in a second. So yes, do wait to place your order on anything that we've got lots of stock of that you might have seen before. My panels will be in the sale. Kim's panels are in the sale. The hardware is in the sale. Mini irons will be in the sale. Everything on the website will be in the sale. But it's only Wednesday, and I don't think these will be there by then. The Lewis and Irene products are in the sale. Oh, we've still got some of my Garden Birds fabric bundles, the half-metre bundles. That means as a club member you get 20% off those. That's a big discount, so those will be in the sale. Oh, thank you, Emma. Had a needle biopsy this morning. Oh, I don't know what a needle biopsy is, but it doesn't sound very nice. Right, so that's that one. Oh, we've also got some little decorations as well. We're going to be doing a few more of these because these are quite nice for wreaths for Christmas. So look, they're just little toadstools on wires. So I just think they're really, really sweet. So we do have some of those now on the website as well. Again, have a look on the new in. If you really, really want them, order before the sale, because this is another one that I don't think will be there by the end of the week. Right, look at this one. Oh, that's a little bit boring, I hear you say. It's just a grey canvas fabric. It is a grey canvas fabric. Special thing about this one is that it's waterproof. Tried and tested by myself and Kim today. It is absolutely waterproof. Now we didn't think it was, because when you feel it, it feels like grey canvas. It's soft, it's pliable, you can see the weave on it, just like any grey canvas that we brought you before. But again, you're gonna have to hang on a minute, because I've just done something with my with my screen. There we go. I know this is a bit creasy. Just treat it as canvas. It washes like canvas. It sews like canvas. It's as soft as the canvas that we normally do, but it's waterproof canvas. Can you believe that? Now we have, so it only came in this morning, and we have tried and tested and kept this piece of canvas wet for about half a day, and the water just beads away. You just pour it back off again. It's so much fun to play with. So do this before you actually sew with it. But the water runs away. It may at some point make the colour of the fabric go a little bit darker, but it doesn't come through to the other side. There's nothing comes through on that. That's amazing. I don't know how it works, but it does. So if you're making backpacks, school bags and things like that, bags, I think particularly the base of bags that you don't want to get wet, the water will sit on there and it will just bead away. But again, no matter how much you try, it doesn't come through to the other side. So yeah, it's amazing fabric. I would say showerproof personally. Just look at that bead of water moving around. So we have tried and tested. We can't get the water to go through. You see, it's starting to stain a little bit now, but it's not coming through to the other side. So I just think that's amazing. So I would say showerproof. I'd say if you're caught out in the rain, I wouldn't dunk it into water. I wouldn't submerge it into water. But when the dark stains kind of dry out, it goes back to normal again. It really is quite amazing. We were very impressed with it. So I should try it. I put it on Gary's office chair where he sits at his PC. So sorry, Gary, you've got beads of water all over your chair, but it didn't go through the fabric, so that's fine. It's unusual, isn't it? But the nice thing is it's not laminated, it's not shiny, it's not plasticky. It just feels like normal fabric. I had to question when it came, so I said to him, "What you ordered that for? We've already got grey canvas." She said, "Oh, not like this one, you don't." Talking of canvas, now I've got everything wet. This is a new one. This is quite retro. I think it's quite 1960s. I think it's a little bit of fun. It's kind of Aztec, and again, it's a canvas. Now the company where they get these from take a few weeks to arrive, so it's quite exciting when this actually arrived today. And again, it's brand new in, so we do have plenty of stock. I'd still say that, oh, Sarah's going, oh, we're going early. I have to leave early, so I have to go for an abdominal. What, at the hospital? I'll spend a lot of time at the hospital, must be getting old. Of the 50s, not old, Sarah. But a happy birthday for tomorrow, and I hope things are going okay for you. One of Sheila's cats keeps going in front of her iPad, blocking her view. Yeah, Bonnie, I think Gary does need a waterproof cloth on his chair. Right, so again, this is brand new. Do wait for the sale if you dare. If you want to make sure you get it, then order now. Black canvas, Marion. When are we getting black canvas in? Where did you write to me? I don't remember seeing that. If you're watching at the moment, Kim's down in the house designing fabrics. Actually, designing fabric panels for Create and Craft. Are we getting black canvas? Not sure if we've got any, but she'll certainly look into it. Hi, Deborah from Kent. Oh, Carol's just got back from the Royal. That's a little bit posh, Carol. Did you have a cup of tea with a cocked finger? That sounds very posh. So that's that one. We've got a few new, or 2 new fabrics for you as well. These are lovely. The quality of these fabrics is really special. And these, they're another one of the Poppy ones, designed by Poppy. But I love the colours on these. You've got a little spot of peach in the centre of each one of those kind of clamshell shapes. And we've got 2 of those. Deirdre, that was wonderful, wasn't it? Kim's viscose top with the wonderful sleeves. It was amazing. Lindsay's in Holland. Hello, Lindsay. Rita, that's another one in Holland. But yeah, really lovely colours for those 2. They're just they're very simple, a little bit different, and you've got these clamshell shapes in the 2 different colours. Right, the only other new thing I have to show you are the fleeces. Now these, the fleece that we have on the website at the moment is a higher quality than we had previously. So they may look like similar colours, but they are different. It's a new supplier that we've gone to for these, and we've got lots of colours for you. They feel a little bit heavier than the previous ones. They're anti-pill, so they're perfect for things like sweatshirts and hoodies and school uniforms and things like that, but they're also perfect for bears. Now if you're a Half Yard Sewing Club member and you want to make the polar bear, which is next month's project, then it'll take over half a metre, so you'll need to order a metre of fleece. We've been out of the stock of the white for quite a while because we just couldn't get hold of it, but we've managed to get hold of it now in the superior or premium quality, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it's just beautiful. It's worth it. So we've got quite a few colours for you. So this one is the navy, this one is tan. It's a little bit different to the beige honey that we had before, but this is the one that I made the beige teddy bear out of, the polar bear out of. So it's almost the same, but very slightly different. The beauty of working with this is that it doesn't fray, it's simple to work with, and it's got a bit of stretch as well, and it's incredibly soft. So for toys, it's absolutely perfect. And with the pattern that I've made the 2 polar bears with, or the polar bear, same pattern, different colours, it is designed to be used with a fleece, with something that stretches, because there's a lot of easing in the seams. That's all explained in the video. But that is the beige. We also have a red, so I'm thinking maybe school uniforms, if you're making a hoodie for school for the winter time. Oh, now then, I don't know if you can see there, I've ironed all of these and I got steam marks. If you brush over it, then the steam marks come away, or give it a slight brush and those all disappear. So if you've got a steam iron like mine, that might happen. Just give it a brush, because it's got a nap on it, so they should all disappear completely. I'm not sure what colour we call this one. It might be a wine. Can't remember. Have a look at the new arrivals on the website and you'll find them there. And then of course we do have, in fact it's not bringing that, we do have the white. So again, if you want to make the white polar bear, it's order a metre, and you'll have some left over. It takes over half a metre of fabric, so you will need to order a metre, because you only do these in half metre increments. Of course, you don't have to order the fabric from us, so it's not a condition that if you join the Half Yard Club you have to buy fabric from us as well. That's entirely up to you, but we do like to supply you with the fabric that we have for the projects as often as we can. Birthday Bear isn't in the Maddie book, no, Peggy Sue. That is one of the Half Yard Club projects. It's one that was brought back. Where is he? I've dressed him up for Christmas, look. That's the oversized one, so he's on the Half Yard Sewing Club as a member project. Thanks, Lisa. Irene says, thoroughly enjoyed Sewing Sunday. Oh, thank you. What did you think? Did anybody see the Seamless Sunday show? Seamless Sunday was a 6-hour show on Create and Craft, and Janice was brilliant, wasn't she? We had a really, really nice time. There was lots of guests there, lots of different projects, lots of demonstrations, the quiz, and loads of fun as well. The next one is going to be on the 15th of January, so it's a couple of months away. It's supposed to be every 6 weeks, but it's not quite working that way. So again, 15th of January, which funnily enough, in that show on the 15th of January is when we're going to be launching the Maddie book, which you can pre-order from the website. To be honest, you'll probably get a better deal from Search Press or Amazon, but if you want a book signed, then order one from us. So it is available to pre-order on several websites, but it will be launching on Create and Craft on the 15th of January, and those books will be signed. They won't be signed to anybody particular. I'll just scribble my name in them. But that's on the 15th of January, so that's what's coming up then. Oh, Christina enjoyed it. Oh, thank you. I know, Chris. I do one every other week. I do one every week, but, you know, have to do as I'm told. Leslie was with you on Seamless Sunday, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, Leslie. We had so many emails and pictures, and I'm sorry I couldn't show them all. It was a little bit like watching your comments coming up here, that we had so many emails coming in. I could have spent the whole 6 hours just reading them out. But thank you, because these things are taken note of. And if Seamless Sunday proves to be popular, as in lots and lots of emails, they'll carry on doing it and maybe do it more often. The materials list for Saturday, Sally Ann, is it was on the newsletter for the Half Yard Sewing Club. If you don't get the newsletter, it will be on the Half Yard Sewing Club website. Obviously you need to be a member. If you're not, then I need to put the instructions on there. I'll do that tomorrow. Oh, Pasqua, where are you? Zoe's in London. Francis in Scotland. Keep us coming with where in the world you are. We're going to make a chart. Well, Rita's making a chart. Well, she's made one chart. I didn't ask her if she's going to update it every week, actually. She's made one chart. Helene's not fond of wine. Oh, okay. Pasqua's in Italy. There's another one for you. Rita. Sally Ann's a member. Yeah, it should be there. Have a look on the newsletter on the right hand side of the homepage. You should have the newsletter there. Amanda's with us on Sunday, but her tablet kept freezing. Oh dear. Shirley Ann's in USA. Rita, she's in USA. Lisa, let me know what happens. Thinking of you. Blodwin's just got a delivery. Right, so we're going to do a bit of free motion. Now obviously, oh thank you, Lynette. It's quite an in-depth kind of thing. So I'm going to try and explain it quite briefly and quite quickly. So free motion embroidery is basically where your feed dogs feed the fabric through, and the foot on your sewing machine will help that go through. We're going to disable the feed dogs so you can move the fabric in any direction that you like. So some sewing machines will have a drop feed dog facility. Some will have a plastic case that goes over the top of the feed dogs, so the feed dogs still work underneath it, but your fabric will glide over the top of it. So it depends what kind of machine that you have. On my new fancy machine, I've not used it before, so this is going to be a learning curve for me as well, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So basically the things that you need are to be able to cover your feed dogs, drop your feed dogs, and you will need a free motion or embroidery foot, free motion embroidery foot, or darning foot they're sometimes called. So your foot, got my fairy attached to my bag, look. Yes you can, Chris. 1.5 meters of fabric will do 2 bears. You may need to put the fabrics in different directions. No, I don't want that, I want this. That is what a free motion embroidery foot looks like. Yours may have a clear section here. It may be an open toed bit, so it looks like a hook, not a complete circle. But it looks a little bit like that, and you'll have a spring on the side, because this is going to allow the foot to hop over the top of your fabric. Okay, so you'll need one of those. Doesn't matter what machine you have, you will need the appropriate one. And I would go for the foot that that is made by your sewing machine manufacturers. So what we also need to do is to just do that so I can still see you. Is to take off. Let's take off this foot. So we'll just drop that one off here. And you will need to take off the ankle, which is this part here. So make sure you don't lose that, because you won't get any more feet to put back on again unless you've got that ankle. So I'm just going to take my screwdriver and unscrew this. Whoops. The thing with the screws being on the left hand side, sorry, what I'm doing there, is I'm not left-handed, so it tends to be a little bit fiddly. Okay, so that drops off completely. Save it. And then this one will go back on. Sometimes this will hook around the screw. Sometimes you'll have to take the screw out because there'll be a hole in there, and then screw it back in again. And that simply goes on there like that. Now some of your, there we go. Some of these feet will have a bar that goes across the top of the needle clamp, or the screw that holds the needle in place. Just put that down. It'll have a bar that comes across the top of here, and that will help the foot to bounce up and down. So just make sure if you've got a bar across the top of there, it sits on top of the needle clamp. This one doesn't have one. And I'm also going to drop the feed dogs. And I don't know where that is. So many have got the sewing machine already. How do I drop the feed dogs? I thought there was a button on the front, but I think that was on the other machine I was looking at. If you don't have a drop feed dog facility, there must be one on this machine. If you don't have a drop feed dog facility, then you can leave the feed dogs up, which I might have to do because I don't know where it is on this one. Do let me know. But set the stitch to a length of 0. So if you've got a stitch length of 0, the feed dogs will stay up, but they won't move because it hasn't got a stitch length to move on. Because I don't do very well. I keep my ankle attached to the regular foot so I don't lose it. That's a good idea. Just a bit of free motion embroidery today, Cheryl. Done and dusted. Okay. So has anybody got this machine that knows how to drop the feed dogs? I'm one of these people that doesn't read the sewing machine manual unless I really need to. And when you really need to, you haven't got the sewing machine manual. Mine is from the menu setting in the FM mode. Okay. Menu setting. No need to look at that one. So we will go on to a straight stitch, not to a needle stitch, and take the stitch down to stitch length down to 0, because a lot of machines are going to be like that anyway. So stitch down to 0. Okay, that should do it. So feed dogs are up, but they're not going to be useful. Pull the drawer out, it's at the front. You're not wrong there, are you, Susan? Here we go. Move that over to one side. Oh gosh, thank you. See, you should have read the manual. I didn't. That wasn't obvious when I saw it, so mine just goes over to that side. Thank you very much, Susan. So let's put that in there. Right, okay, so feed dogs have dropped down. Just to mention, with most machines, when the feed dogs come back up again, they don't come up immediately. You move the button. Don't know about on this one, but you normally have to turn the hand wheel and then the feed dogs come back up again. So that's all you need to get going. So you've got your darning or your free motion foot, and you've dropped the feed dogs, covered them, or set your stitch length to 0. It is lowest, I know. I should have looked at that first. So if you have this does have an extension table actually, but they should have put it on. The extension table is so big that I'll have to move all of this out of the way to get the camera on the right bit. It's here, look, it's huge. So I'm not going to put the extension table on. Let's just have a look at the fabric. I wouldn't use free motion embroidery directly onto fabric unless it's got some kind of wadding. or stabilizer or interfacing behind it. So I like to use a tearaway stabilizer, which I'm doing with this one, and this is just you iron on and you tear it away. If you're using a wadding, I'd go for a polyester one and not too thick. If you're using a wool one, you're going to have so many stitches going over the project at the same time. It'll push lots and lots of fibres inside your sewing machine, so I wouldn't do that. I'd go for something that's polyester or a little bit smooth. But do put some kind of stabiliser behind the fabric, because there's so many stitches, as I said, it's going to start knotting up and it could make the fabric pucker and bunch a little bit. So I've gone for a tearaway stabiliser on the back of this one. Now, as far as designs are concerned, Deirdre's about to applique trees onto a table runner and wasn't going to free motion. Free motion, I find, Deirdre, is easier. For example, if I wanted to stitch around the edge of this rabbit, which I may well do, to do a running stitch on the sewing machine, I'm going to have to sew around there and then drop needle and move around, and you'll get one stitch line which probably won't be perfect as you go around the curves. Whereas when you're free motion, you can move this underneath the machine, you can get it a lot more curvy. But what I wanted to show you first of all is just a little bit of meandering. Now, with the cushions behind me here, which are your secondary project from the Half Yard Club, I did a bit of meandering. So let me see if I can catch the light on those. There you go. So that is just scribbling. It's just wandering lines, meandering over the fabric. I think the idea with this type of quilting, which is a very traditional type of quilting, is that you don't overlap the meandering. Oh, you can't really see that, it's too bright, isn't it? There you go. But who cares if you do? If you get a little bit squiggly, if you get a little bit of a pointed corner, does it really matter? I don't think so. But it gives a really nice textured finish to your work. And this one was the quilt block backed with H640. So you get a nice depth to the stitching as well. It really does stand out on those. So that's kind of thing that I'm going to have a go at here. If you're not too confident, then take an erasable ink pen, test your fabric first, so chalk may be better because we don't want to bleach the fabric, and draw where you want to go. So again, with meandering, it's like coral. So we're just going to do one of these kind of shapes. If you're not happy, then you can rub it out and start again. But it's just basically going around with a little bit of silliness like this. So all curved lines, I don't know if you can see that. Looks like I've got a big capital E in the middle of it. You don't, I mean, if you're confident, just go for it. Just scribble away with your sewing machine. And if you're not, then you can draw with it first. Or you could buy stencils. There are lots of stencils out there that you just plonk over the top of your fabric and use a chalk pad and transfer the stencils on there. I'm not going to go into the templates that you have that you can kind of, what are they called? Free motion templates, because I don't have any here to show you, and that may be something that's a bit of an expense and a bit more complicated. So I just wanted to keep this really simple. If you're going to sew around something, so let's maybe sew around the edge of the rabbit. If you're very careful, then you could do one stitch line that goes literally all the way around the edge. If you're not too careful, I would go 2 or 3 times, and it gives it a scribbly, kind of like a sketchy kind of look. And I like that kind of look. Ruler work, that's it. Thank you, Sue. Couldn't remember. So we'll have a go at both of them. A couple of things you may find useful are quilting gloves. I can only find one of my quilting gloves, and they look very well used. I've got so many pairs of these, couldn't find them, been looking for them for weeks. Thinking I need to buy some new ones, but these have like silicone pads on them. They're right or left-handed. Wear both of them, and it gives you a little bit of grip as you're moving the fabric around. So I like using those when I can find what I've done with them. And another thing that may help would be a silicone pad underneath your the bed of your sewing machine. And they're quite expensive. They can be about £50. Hello. Oh, coffee time.
Sorry, darling, I couldn't understand your message.
What message?
Could I have ice with my coffee?
Did I say that?
Was it a gin and tonic?
Thank you. Oh, hardly. Oh,
It's hot.
thank you. Thank you. Pop that. Iced coffee in this weather. So yes, I do like using these. The silicone pads, as I said, they're quite expensive, but it sits over the base of your sewing machine. It has a hole in it where the needle goes through. Okay, I've got one. Can't find it. But it's called a glide mat, I think mine is. Lots of different brands, but that allows the fabric to really smoothly glide over the bed of your sewing machine. Don't rush out and buy one of those unless you're going to be doing a lot of free motion embroidery, because they can be quite expensive. Just going to catch up with you, talking to each other. Lovely. Oh, so Susan, that's probably the easiest way. And do practice drawing on your fabric first. So don't go straight to your main project if you've not done this before. Practice on a scrap heap and just get used to manoeuvring the fabric around. It's actually quite therapeutic, I think. What I do find is that posture is really, really important when you're doing this, because you tend to lean over and concentrate and your shoulders go up and you get all tight in your shoulders. So be aware to keep your shoulders back and try and keep your arms at right angles to your work. And just enjoy it. We'll do this in just a second, but the main thing with the speed of this, so I've got a buttonhole stitch on there for some reason, is that you're consistent. So don't go on the fastest speed to start with, because you need to move this at a consistent rate. You're in control of your stitch length. So the quicker you move this, the longer the stitch length is going to be. The slower you move it, the smaller the stitch length. So you need to try and keep it to be exactly the same, which is why it's worth practicing first of all as well. Is your Juki a short shaft? I don't know. Nancy. Somebody else will be able to answer you there. Is my Juki a short shaft? I don't know. I've only had it a couple of weeks. A ruler class 2 weeks ago. Oh, Peggy took a ruler. Oh, did you? I don't know. When I first started doing free motion embroidery, I was actually asked to demonstrate a dedicated free motion embroidery machine on Ideal World, and it was a Toyota Renaissance. Might still have one somewhere. And I just thought, well, I don't want to do that. Oh, I suppose I better learn how to do it because I've got to demonstrate this machine. And you know, I got absolutely hooked on it. I've embroidered photos and pictures and portraits, and I love the look of it, and I really enjoy doing it. But when I started doing it, it just made sense. I just really, really enjoyed it. Thank you, Jennifer. Found it now. Thank you. Is it advisable to put a stiff board down my back to help with posture? Oh, I don't know about that, Susan. I think I'd just be aware of the way that you're sitting. Talk about seating. I sit on the stool. I've got one of these in my sewing room as well, where I actually sew. It's got a back, but I don't use it. It's not exactly a back support, but it means that I'm height adjustable. I can spin around, and it kind of makes you want to sit up. So it's difficult to slouch on a stool like that, but it's important to think that it's at the height that you need it to be. Is that Helen George? Yes, we're at Wiltshire's in England. I'm sure she'll answer you, Rita. We're keeping you busy, aren't you, Rita? Making note of where in the world you all are. Now, she'll have to go through Facebook afterwards as well. If the feed dogs are down, what would the stitch length be? Doesn't matter the stitch length, because you're controlling the stitch length. It doesn't matter whether you set it to long or short, you're controlling the stitch length. So I completely ignore the stitch length on that. So, okay. Right. So let's do it. On a new machine that I haven't done this on before, with one glove on. Let's see how we go. So although when you put the foot on your machine, you can't really tell whether it's up or down on a lot of machines, but do make sure it's down. If you have a speed control, you may want to set it to a little bit shorter. And then you're just going to move the fabric underneath the needle. So again, it doesn't matter whether you go up, down, left, right, backwards, forwards. Just going to move that thread out of the way before I sew over it. As long as you try and keep this consistent, because again, if you're going to start moving this really quickly, you'll have a long stitch length. So just try and get into the rhythm of it. I love doing this. I just find it so calming, so therapeutic. And again, although you're not supposed to kind of cross over the lines, who really cares whether you do or whether you don't? Now, if you're going to do this on top of a fabric that is got wadding behind it as well, you get a really lovely depth to it. So just going over the lines that I've already sewn. I don't care if I've missed a few of those lines. Just try and keep it regular. So you can see I've missed a few bits, or I haven't followed the line exactly. Can you see that? It's a little bit bright, isn't it? Oh, there you go. But that's the lines that I've just done. So remember, just try and keep that really consistent as you're doing it. Let's move down to the darker fabric here. We may be able to see the stitches a little bit better. So this time, let's outline the rabbit. If you've got a speed, actually, if you've got a speed control on your sewing machine and you don't need to use a foot pedal, that may be easier to keep your speed at a consistent speed. Let's take that off. So that's just outlined one rabbit, but I'm not very good at just going round once, so I'm going to do a scribbly bit. So I'm not being so accurate here, but I'm going to go around a few times. Maybe not work so well on just one little rabbit like this, but if you're going around a piece of applique, I think that actually works really well. So you can see that I've got kind of a scribble a little bit going around there. So if you sew around once, it may not be too accurate, but if you go around a few times, it kind of looks like you've scribbled around the outside of it, and I like that kind of look. Sophie's about to quote an advent calendar, gives me confidence, thank you. You're scribbling, basically. The main thing is, again, to keep it consistent as you're moving it around. Mama J Budgie forgets to breathe when she's doing free motion. It does get a little bit like that, doesn't it, when you're concentrating too much. Hi Wendy, just got back from walking the dog in between the rain. Oh, did you request this one as well? So this is kind of a simple demonstration. I just wanted to get you going. So I think maybe, shall we do something a little bit more in depth next Wednesday? So we'll maybe apply some applique. I did have a question about applying curved applique and how to get the stitches straight around there. So I thought we might do that as well. Make sure your foot isn't on the pedal while you're trying to move the fabric around. Oh, sorry, talking to somebody else. Kathy, there's so much. I could write a book, in fact I will write a book about free motion embroidery, but this is kind of just to get confidence going and get you started with it. Jill needs to quilt her block of the month. It's a little bit like if you imagine the needle as a pen and you're drawing, moving your paper around underneath the pen rather than moving the pen over the drawing, if that makes sense. And do try as well, let's go back again, going in different directions. So I'm just going to actually chop the bottom off here. If I have some scissors, would be useful for chopping the bottom off. When do you need to bobbin out with the top thread? When you start, do you need to bring bobbin? It depends where you start, Lisa. Lisa's saying, do we need to bring the bobbin thread to the top? Depends what you're doing and where you start. If you're starting on the edge of your fabric, then no, just start, because the threads are going to be at the end anyway. If you're starting in the middle of your fabric, then you could bring the thread to the top and then rethread both of them back to the bottom to hide it. I'd just leave them as they are. I really wouldn't bother, to be honest. Yes, that's what Stitch and Tear is for, Deirdre. If you're embroidering or free motion embroidering a quilt, and maybe you have to stop because you've run out of thread or something, I would leave the tails of the thread quite long and take them through to the back and just keep everything hidden in the back of the quilt there. Hello, Michelle in Central New York. She loves the rabbit fabric. Thank you very much. It's my design, don't you know? If you try and smile at your free motioning, hang on a second, where's that gone? If you try and smile as you're free motioning, you have to breathe. Is that right? Oh, we'll have a go at that in a minute. Linda bought the silicone mat, put a hole in the first time you used it, never used it since. Oh yes, you do have to line it up perfectly with the bottom of your stitch. I'll tell you what else you can do. It's free motion zigzag stitching. So have I got... Just whizzing back to the drawers. Bear with me. A darker piece of fabric. No, I have a lighter piece of fabric. You can use a zigzag stitch while you're free motioning as well. So I just need to iron this and cut a piece because I wasn't planning on doing this. Hello Sharon, good evening to you too. Let's do that. Spirograph. Oh, do you remember those? My sister had a spirograph and I was very envious, but she was older than me, and I had a Spirotot. Do you remember Spirotots? They were in a little frame. And you just drew around in circles with them. I don't know whatever we did with those, to be honest. You did the designs and then just do another one. So I'm just going to cut a piece of fabric that I can do a zigzag stitch on. And I'll put some black thread in here as well while we're here, so that you can actually see what I'm doing this time. Good old days, says Kathy. What kind of toys did you play with when you were younger? I know I've said before, I dreamt of having a mousetrap game. Never got one. Really envious of Susan Butler, who had a mousetrap game and flaunted it at every occasion. But I never had one of those. Yes, Spirotot, but I wanted a Spirograph. What did you used to play with? I had 2 dolls. Like teenage dolls with stiff limbs. I didn't have Barbies and Cindy's or anything like that because my mother wouldn't buy them because they were expensive. And then I had the whole Camberwick Green Village. I do miss you Saturday morning. It's because I'm at Slimming World when you start. Oh, take us with you, Leanne. We can go to Slimming World. Probably 2 is going to Slimming World, to be honest. Oh, Maxine and Lois both had Tiny Tears. Oh, what I wouldn't have done for Tiny Tears. I would have loved Tiny Tears. I don't know what Chatty Cathy is. Cathy wanted Chatty Cathy, but got Talking Tandy. I did have a cowboy outfit, Linda. I was a bit of a page boy, a bit of a tomboy. My granddad bought me a little plastic monkey that smoked a cigarette. Oh, gosh, imagine that in these days. All the gubbins stick to a need one. Oh, I know, that's a fabulous machine. It really is. And I still don't even know it yet, obviously, because I couldn't figure out how to drop the feed dogs even. A doll that talked when the button... Oh, really? Do you remember Tressie doll? Never had one of those either, but a Tressie doll, you press a button in the back and a hair shrank. Loved that idea. Pippa dolls. What did you play with when you were little, Gary? What was your favourite toy?
Action Man.
Action Man for Gary. Lullaby, Baby Lullaby.
Oh, that was my favourite as well.
I can imagine with a Baby Lullaby. Tiny Tears doll she made a dress for. Fuzzy Felt. Oh, Sarah, Fuzzy Felt. Now, Fuzzy Felt I did have. Yeah, Tiny Tears did we, didn't she? No, same thread. Bloody, I just changed the colour of it. Cindy doll for Amanda. Tiny Tears for Laura. Greasy. So I think I missed that. Greasy too. Loved her. Greasy doll. A Princess Pippa doll. When you moved her arm, she turned her head. Oh, that sounds a bit expensive. We only had cheap toys when I was little. Tressie with the hair grows. Yeah, good name for that, wasn't it? A folding bike that folded. I was riding it down a hill. Oh, I had a tricycle, a blue one with a bin on the back, when we lived in Spondon, and we lived at the bottom of a hill, and I can remember going down this hill and putting on the front brake when I got to the bottom. Whoa, over I went. Hello, Kathleen in Massachusetts. Potato Man. Was that the potato thing that you stuck things? I think that was a bit after my time. Anyway, zigzag stitch we're doing, aren't we? I'd rather talk about toys. Jack. Oh, Jacks. Yes. So you'd kind of do that with them, wouldn't you? And you'd pick them up and you'd flip them and land them on the back of your hand and then grab them. I can't remember how I played that. And what was the other one? There's Jacks, and what were the square ones called? Where you did a similar kind of thing. You throw them up and grab one and then push them up. I can't remember how you did that. Oh, that took me back a little bit. Mr. Potato, I heard. Yeah, Mr. Potato, says Rita. Metal roller skates that strap to your shoes. I had some of those as well, and they expanded at the bottom, didn't they? So when your feet grew, they'd still fit your shoes. 5 stones. Is that the one that you did that with? Pick up sticks. Don't know that one. Clackers. Clackers. They were dangerous, weren't they? Because you did that with them, and they clacked up and with balls on the end of it. Was that right with clackers? Got nasty bruises on your wrist from those. Carol used to get every one of the stakes on a dog. Pick up sticks, says Carol. 5 stones. Teeny tiny tears. Tiny tears and teeny tiny tears. Never had one of those. French skipping. Yes, Lois, French skipping. We used to get to the dining trays outside and wrap the piece of elastic around, and you'd have to go in, out, on, and then the next person would have to copy you, then add a move. And then the next person would copy that, add the move, then add another move. Do you remember that? Is that what we did? Wow. Snobs, that's what we called it, Chrissy. The square ones were snobs, yes. Had a doll that you could give a bottle to and she'd weave the other end. Nice. But yeah, they did that, didn't they? Spyro Whirl, I don't remember that one. Kaplunk. We bought a Kaplunk for the girls. A wooden one. We were playing that quite recently. That's when toys were toys, read Maxine. These days all my grandchildren wanted games for the computer. She loved Jacks. Sue said, did anyone have a ball in a stocking, tie it to a leg and whack it against a wall? Didn't do that one. I used to have a ball on the end of a piece of string and a hoop that you put around your leg, and you kind of spin it and jump over it at the same time. Do you remember those? I can't remember what that was called. Oh, elastics, pogos. Oh, yes, I had a pogo stick. Leslie had a teeny tiny tears. Yo-yos. Oh, yes. Sarah played house all the time. My first idol called Bobby Jean, Kid Sister and Raggedy Ann were my favourites. Toweling nappies and a dummy, honestly. Jump ropes. What's a jump rope? Michelle, not sure what a jump rope is. Nancy wanted a road garter to make the roads in the yard. A road grader to make roads in the yard. Stocking ball. Don't know. I never did that one. Oh, French knitting. Through a wooden doll. Oh, remember those, Amanda? Yes. 2 balls and rhymes to go with it. Remember skipping? I know a boy. His name's hula hoops. Jumping the skipping rope. Hello, Silver and Kissing Me. And what kids know? Oh, space hopper. Oh, never had a space hopper. I remember my eldest lad, who's 41 now, when he was at primary school and they did a sports day, they had a space hopper race, and he was rubbish, but he was hilarious because all the kids were bouncing away and he just kept getting higher and higher and higher and stayed in the same place, didn't move anywhere, just higher and higher. Very proud of him. taken the mickey out of him for about 36 years on that one. Marbles. Oh, stilts as well, Sans. Stilts, yeah. How do you stitch and tears into? No, with stitch and tear, you sew and then you rip it off the back. So you sew your sewing, Deirdre, and then it pulls away from the back, so you're not left with any interfacing in the back of it at all. But it just helps to stabilise the fabric and stop it from puckering as you're free motion embroidering. Or when you're embroidering, if you've got an embroidery machine, you might use that in there as well. Stilts made with baked... Oh, I've done that, Lois. Stilts made with baked bean cans and string. Johnny Seven Guns. Don't know that one, Carol. An old wooden thread spool. I think I missed that one. Anyway, zigzag, free motion embroidery. Should we do this, or should we just carry on chatting? Let's do this. Nancy designed clothes for her paper dolls, had a collection with some 100 years. Oh, really? How do you use a mat underneath? Is it one of the non-slip mats, Sharon? They're like a... I don't know what I've done with it. You can spend 50 quid on these things and I've lost it. It's like a silicone mat with a hole in the middle. You put the hole underneath the needle and just sit it on the bed of your sewing machine. And then the fabric glides over the top of it. I mean, these are pretty much non-stick, but that makes it even more non-stick, so you can move it around quicker. Bunty paper dolls. Yes, I do have a new machine, Kathleen. I got the straight stitch machine as well. I indulged. I bought the DX7 and the straight stitch machine. I love that straight stitch machine. It's so quick. Wooden puppet strings used to get to... Yes. We are showing our age, aren't we, Susan? Nice age to be, though. No, it won't. As far as I'm aware, Linda, Gutermann glue will not disintegrate. I've used it on several projects and washed it. Nothing's happened to it. It's fine. Anyway. Let's see what happens here. So I'm now on a zigzag stitch. So I'm just having a bit of a play. Just making sure that it'll fit within the foot pedal. And then you can use this, I'll show you more details in just a second, to write big letters. So again, the slower you move this, the denser the stitches are going to be. So you have a zigzag going from side to side, and then when you do a straight line across from left to right, you get a flatter line. So I'll just go down. Oh, just broke my thread. So you can get that kind of effect. So it's a little bit wider down the side than it is going across. Let me just rethread this little thing, and I'll show you again. This is also a nice technique if you're embroidering a picture of an animal that has fur, because it gives a furry kind of finish to it. Okay, so let me show you again. I'm just going to put the one glove on because it's all I can find. So side to side. Gives you like a satin stitch. You could use this for a plique. You go across, you get a thinner line. Broke my thread again. I don't know what I'm doing there. Might need to adjust the tension on that. Oh, that was messy. So a wider line down here. If you go across, you get one straight line. Don't know why it's doing that. Need to have a play with the tension. But again, if you are embroidering over animals or anything that's furry, maybe it's a trim around a hat on an image or something like that, then this is quite a nice one to use. I took a picture of my last dog Alfie and printed it onto that's what's going on. Printed it onto printable fabrics. I've got a piece of plastic caught on my thread. That's why it keeps breaking. So turn that around the other way. Yeah, so I made printed a photograph of my dog and then free motion embroidered over the top of it with a zigzag stitch. It took me ages, but it was really nice. So I changed the colour of the thread for the colour of his fur, and it actually worked really well. It looked really furry. A cardboard doll with outfits that you pushed out of a ship. Oh yes, had those as well. Oh, Alfie was the most wonderful dog. I do have a wonderful dog, but Alfie was the most wonderful dog. So, what have I done now? I've run out of bottom thread, haven't I? Oh no, I haven't. What am I doing? I have top thread, I have bottom thread, and something's not going on. Do you ever find that? Sometimes it just doesn't go according to plan. So rethread it is the first. It's catching again. We'll change the thread. That's just a rubbish thread. Rubbish! You're rubbish! You're fine. You might be elastic. You're elastic. That's no good. You'll be great. Oh, he did, Kathleen. He used to sing, did Alfie. You could actually, there is a video on YouTube of me singing Happy Birthday to him with him howling along. He was hilarious. He was such a sweet dog. Still miss him. Right, let's try again. So I'm missing Facebook comments. Is it recommended you wash it? It's recommended you wash your gloves, then you put them on, then wash them on your hands. It works, they come up lovely and clean. Oh, lovely, because mine need a wash, as you've probably seen. The doggy embroidery pictures in the Half Yard Club. Is it? It's in the top tip section. Didn't know it was on there. Let's have another go at this then. There we go. So straight, you can go over that as many times as you like using a zigzag stitch, so up and down, and then when you go across you get a thick line. So you can kind of do a little bit of calligraphy. So if you're going to write on your fabric first, then it may be an idea to do that, and you can do bigger letters than you could actually do on your embroidery machine or with the letters that you have on your sewing machine, which are normally about 7mm. You can get an awful lot bigger one with this one. But again, if you are doing something like fur, you can just go in all kinds of directions with this stitch. It's broke again. And create something that just looks very jazzy and very different. Like that. Okay, so let's next week we'll do something that is a little bit more in depth as far as that's concerned. So hopefully that's going to give you a bit of confidence and get you going. So let's have a look next week about I'll make a small block and actually quilt it with meandering free motion embroidery, and we'll do some applique with it as well, and sewing around a curve for whoever asked about that. Deirdre, I'd use a dark grey myself. Black can be a little bit harsh. I like a very dark colour because it stands out, and I think the free motion embroidery really needs to stand out. If you're using a meandering thread like I have over here, then you want something that will probably disappear because you don't want to spoil, or you don't want to detract from the patchwork. So with this one I've used an off-white on a white background. So you can see it, but it doesn't stand out too much, because the idea is not to detract from what you're doing here, it's to add to it. So that is it. Although it's kind of very pale, it is quite subtle, it doesn't stand out too much. You see more of the texture than you do the stitching. If I'm doing something that had an outline that I wanted to see, like if I was sewing around one of those rabbits or a piece of applique, then I ain't going off, I'd use a dark grey. Try black, but a dark grey or very dark blue I think would work really well as well. Maxine, we did have some of that tearaway sable on the website. I'm not sure if it's still in stock. I'll have a look when I've finished here, but we can get some more. Susan says, I love the way you talk to your items. Words of encouragement, generally, Susan. It shouldn't wash out, Linda. Guterman is washable. It should stay there forever. That's why pregnancy is so important. Absolutely, Geraldine. It may seem a little bit dull, you know, the practicing bit when you just want to get on there and do the actual project, but the more you practice, the better your project's going to be anyway, isn't it? Right, I think we're up to date there. So let me just reiterate. Saturday Sew Along. Saturday Sew Along is the little fairy, angel, whatever you like to call her. Not my design, but I do think she's rather cute. I think these things have been around for a while, but I just thought we'd make one of these as a Christmas decoration. So you can sew along with me on Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning. We are having a sale on the website on debbieshawsewing.com all over the weekend, actually. If there's anything that you want particularly, then order it now. Things like the exploding box that I showed you early on. If you weren't watching, that's it. I don't think these will be here by Friday, and I'm not sure if we can get any more. So if there's something that you specifically want, buy it. If it's something that you can wait for, then we're going to have a 10% off sale on Friday to the weekend, or till Sunday night. So from 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm doing a little bit of housework here, and I can't get my mouse to work. It happens every week, doesn't it? So the sale will start at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. I will post on Facebook, and I will post on YouTube. Oh, Nancy, it's aimed at you deliberately, one of our best customers. There will be a code. You will need to put the code in there, and you can use the code alongside your Half Yard Sewing Club code. So basically anybody that has the code can take 10% discount off anything on the website. Anybody who's a Half Yard Club member, use both codes and you will get 20% off everything on the website. We've done 20% for you before, and honestly you've cleared us out of everything, but this is like a discount for everybody, so I think it's going to be a really busy weekend. The new fleeces for the bears and the other colours are on there. If we have any of those left, they will be on the discount as well. So it's going to be an interesting but very busy weekend, methinks. The sale will finish at 8 o'clock on Sunday night, if I remember. So yeah, 8 o'clock Sunday night. So 8 o'clock on Friday morning, all the way through to 8 o'clock on Sunday night. Thank you, Geraldine. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I hope to see you Saturday too, Susan. Lovely. What size is the button on her face? I didn't use a button. If you have a button, that is fine. I can't remember offhand. I used a piece of card for this one, so the fabric's just wrapped around a piece of card which measures 1.5 inches across. I used sorry, I've just lost you over here a second. I used a piece of card for this and then some wadding over the top, and I'll show you how to make the shape of the wings as well on Saturday. And I've used felt. I've used the same colour felt, which is fine, and then 2 pieces of fabric, which would be really nice if they were Christmassy, but I hadn't got any Christmassy fabric handy, but I think she looks quite sweet with a spotty fabric there as well. So I might try a Christmas fabric over the weekend for that one. So I don't know what's happened on YouTube there. Everything's gone black for me. At least that's happened at the end. If you're on YouTube and you hear me but can't see me, I don't know what the problem is there, but sorry about that. But I'm going now anyway. Okay. And Laura's getting a list ready for the weekend. No blindfold. Thank you, Susan. Oh, hi, Olive. Thank you, Debbie. See you on Saturday as well. Yeah, my YouTube has just gone completely blank. How strange is that? But thank you for joining me. Anyhow, I've enjoyed the hour, and it was a very simple demonstration on free motion embroidery. But again, I think it's something that we'll pick up on next Wednesday. Maybe do something a little bit more in depth with it, if that's what you'd like to see. So have a good rest of the week. See you on Saturday if you're there, or next Wednesday if you can't make it Saturday. And you take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.